Nathan, we got some questions from people on Twitter. What did we get?
Yeah, definitely. So our first question is from Chase Hutchinson over on
Woo!
Twitter at
What up,
electric
Chase?
at electric hutch. Is that one of your friends?
He is one of the co-hosts of the Scratch Cinema podcast. Yes. So
Alrighty.
if you guys are looking for another great podcast to listen to us first, and then check out the Scratch Cinema podcast, hosted by Chase Hutchinson and Pizza Mondays. Great people.
Alrighty. Well, Chase asks us, Chase, thank you for the question. He asks us, what's our favorite surrealist film? And Chase threw his own take in there for She Dies Tomorrow, which I have not seen, but that's Chase's. So, Phoenix, what is your favorite surrealist film?
Well, I think it might be She Dies Tomorrow when I eventually see it, but for now, I had to go with a movie that I saw in theaters on a random day and for no reason. I have no idea why I decided to see this movie, but I went into a local theater, small theater. It was me and like two other people. The two people were on a date, which I found hilarious because this is not a date movie. It's called Funny Games. It's a 2007 remake of the original 97 film, also titled Funny Games, done by the exact same director, Michael Haneke. And it's a shot-for-shot remake of the original. And it stars Naomi Watts, Tim Roth, and it's about these
Ooh, your
two.
man.
Huh?
I said Nathan's man, Tim Roth.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tim Roth. Yeah, it's about these two kids who they come into polite society and they torture a family for 2 hours and and yeah, it's a really dark. It's like it's not a funny movie. I'm so mad that it's called Funny Games. It's not funny at all. It's like
It's actually on my watch list.
yeah, it's really dark. It's like twisted. You won't be able to make it through it. Like if you make it through it, you probably appreciate films like this, and that's sort of the comment that he's making with the film is that if you like this, you're kind of sick, and I guess I'm kind of sick because I freaking love this movie. So for me, it would be Funny Games.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You're weird.
Yeah, very weird.
The like extensive list you can choose from for surrealist films is not very long. So I'm sorry, Chase, but I don't have a great answer for you. I'm going to go with Where the Wild Things Are. This is a film I haven't seen recently because, once again, if you listen to our episode a couple of weeks ago, this is another film that people love to show in schools. So, I think 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, Nathan watched this like 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
So I enjoy it every time. It's a good little story based off the book. Don't really want to elaborate too much on that because it's been a while since I've seen it. But regardless, that one stuck out to me when I was thinking of surrealist films. Nick, what about you?
Well, I got to go classic, The Shining, Stanley Kubrick. We watched this a little bit ago, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I ever put it on my letterbox. I think that was pre-letterbox days. But Nathan and I, this semester, when we get back to school together, we're going to do a bunch of director's binges, and Stanley Kubrick is on the list. So The Shining will definitely be on there.
I still have yet to see The Shining. I got to check that out. It's kind of embarrassing.
Why you convey this information
I don't know.
is beyond me. So we got another question coming in. By the way, guys, for everyone listening, feel free to ask us questions like this. You're pretty much guaranteed to get your question asked since we don't have a ton of them flowing in right now. We love to just kind of take these questions right off the bat, kind of interact with you guys a little more so we don't have less time to think about it, stuff like that. So this one came in from Freddie Robles, who asked us a question a couple weeks ago. Freddie, thank you for the question this week.
Thanks, Fred.
Freddie asks, what's the most effed up scene you've seen in recent years? And Freddie said that his was Olga's death scene in Suspiria in 2018. So the most effed up scene. I'm gonna go last here. So Phoenix, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. So I was originally gonna pick a scene from Funny Games, but I thought about it, and the most effed up scene that I've seen, at least recently, that I can remember, has to come from Hereditary. That movie's sick. Okay, it's sick in ways I wasn't prepared for. But there's a scene. For those of you who have not seen Hereditary, I'm sorry. Uh, oh, okay.
Don't spoil it too much because
Oh,
we're eventually gonna watch it.
Jesus. All right. Well, I can't describe the scene, but it's towards the end.
It's a you know scene.
Yeah, it's towards the end. You know, if you know, you know. But it involves Toni Collette, and she's doing her damn thing, pretty much.
Nick,
Yeah.
what about you?
Well, I've seen Midsummer, so that whole freaking movie is whole effed up when people are jumping off cliffs and sticking car exhaust fumes through tubes through their
that's
through their house.
We're good. Okay, thanks.
All right, but
We'll move on.
No, I'm not done.
You don't have to go into that descriptive.
Okay, anyway, but that's not the most effed up scene that I've seen in a while. This is a movie, and I hope that Nathan either agrees. He's gonna agree, but I don't know if this is the one that he's gonna say. We watched a movie back in the early Letterboxd days. It's called 22 July. It's a biopic about a shooting at some camp outside of Norway or in Norway, and that description exactly tells what the horrific scene is. It's literally the shooting that happens on this campus, and it's awful.
It's extremely realistic as far as like
It's extreme.
they don't hold back at all for what a shooting looks like.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's like you're watching it and you're like,
Okay.
Yeah, and
like if you think Tarantino is bad,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had to avert from that scene.
so I'm gonna cheat a little bit with my answer. I'm gonna give my original answer, and I don't think that's gonna be good enough for you, so I'm gonna give another one. Any scene, this is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I'm gonna tie in Palm Springs, Uncut Gems, Shape of Water, a few other ones.
You couldn't have picked three very different films.
I never.
Well, you'll see. I know
Never.
exactly what he's gonna say.
I never need to see anyone touching themselves in a film.
Right.
I never need to see that.
Right.
There's not a single time where that has added value to the story. You say, "Oh, well, in Shape of Water, it's showing she's lonely." No, you can show other ways to do that.
As soon as you said Shape of Water and Uncut Gems, I knew exactly what you were going to say.
Nick, you said it in your Palm Springs review. You said that it didn't fit the rest of the lighthearted tone. I agree.
Yeah.
I never need to see anyone touching themselves in a movie. So, sex scenes, that's different. Touching yourself, no, never need to see it. So that's not super effed up, but just needed to throw that out there. The most effed up scene, which I'm surprised Nick didn't say, is going to tie into a movie we talked about earlier this episode, and that's Pain and Glory, in which Antonio Banderas' character finds himself when he is attracted to a naked 30-year-old, 25-year-old, however the fuck old this kid is, and this, 25-year-old is bathing naked in this little kid's house, and then they stare at each other, and that's how he finds out that he likes men, and that is so fucked up. And you know what, you could have had such a more beautiful scene than that. In what world is a 25-year-old falling in love with a 9-year-old okay? How is this okay? That's not beautiful. That's not finding yourself. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. That's borderline pedophilia.
That's not borderline. That
is definitely pedophilia. I don't know what they were thinking with that, but I don't know if it's a true story. If it is, they should not have done that. That was messed up. No. You want to show a story about a 9-year-old finding himself, finding his sexuality. Great, I'm 100% for that. Just not in that way. That was fun.
All right. Thanks for the question, Freddie, man. We got some very interesting answers out of that. Once again, like Nathan said, if you guys want to send us a question, you can find us on Twitter at Film Code Pod. We ask for a question before we record every episode, and we answer your questions live, and you get our, immediate responses. You know what I'm saying? We don't really have a lot of time to think of response, so that's how that'll go.